So I'm the head teacher at St Michael's Primary School in Newcastle, an inner city school. And we've been on a bit of a journey over the last 4 years. So in 2016, the school was placed into special measures. I was then appointed as head of school and then head teacher in 2017. And like I say, we've been on a journey of kind of transformation, and we've worked closely with the pupils and the parents to really develop a sense of community. So it was really important for us to go for the EAL quality mark, not just for the staff and the pupils, but for the parents, because, you know, we've done it together, and without the parent support, we wouldn't have got to where we've got to now. So it was a real celebration of the hard work over the past 4 years. And of course, Graham, I think it's amazing to be a part of this, to be a part of the EAL Academy work, to make links with other schools, not only in the northeast, but further afield. And I'd be more than happy for people to visit St Michael's, and I would love to visit other schools as well, because we were awarded the gold quality mark. However, I'd love to further develop our own practice and share good practice with other schools going forward. And so a little bit about St Michael's, it's on the screen, thanks Graham. And we're a one-form primary school, and 65% of our pupils have English as additional language, 26% of those pupils are refugees, and 60% of our pupils are also classed as disadvantaged. Currently, we have 24 languages spoken in school. I've listed some of the languages there, you can see on your screen. And, you know, English proficiency does vary, you know, among our EAL pupils. And again, just like you've said before, some of our children are newly arrived from foreign country. Some speak a little bit English and have been to an English speaking school, but not in this country. Some are born abroad, and some have been born in the UK, but speak a different language at home. So that's a little bit of background really about St Michael's. In 2017, when we embarked on this journey, at the time we knew the school was a reflection of the Ofsted inspection, and the school was inadequate. Provision wasn't right for our children, certainly not the EAL children. So at that point, we made it our mission to get as many parents in school as possible. So we ran coffee mornings, we ran projects, workshops, open days, anything and everything to get parents into school. And it was when we did that that we spoke to our parents and our children. And on the screen now, you can see some of the comments that came out, so from some of the children and some of the parents. Well, some of those comments are lovely. You know, Molly was my buddy, so we had buddy systems in place. But some of them, you know, didn't sit comfortably with me, and we knew we had to do something about it. So as I said, we embarked on a journey. One of the things we did, which is just on the next slide, Graham, we decided that actually we needed to get the preparation right for EAL pupils. So we needed to know as much information about them before they actually started school. So we introduced a home visit for those pupils. We also developed our welcome pack with key information and pictures to support understanding, and we translate those packs as well for our children and our parents. We always give the children a photograph of the teacher and a photograph of the classroom and a photograph of a quiet space that they can use in school, so that even before they've got in the building, they can make links between trusted adults and also spaces where they feel safe in school. We translate any letters or emails to the parents just to make that communication easier if that's needed. And you can see at the bottom an example of one of the documents that we share with our parents with lots of visuals on. So our school is situated right next to the church, so it's good for parents if they're new to the area, they know where to go, but also the school badge, because I think it's really important that our children and parents have that sense of belonging to our community. And we tell them the start and the end time. And then that next row along, that changes. So at the moment, we are a healthy school, we do the daily mile. Those are signs that our children will see around the school. But also our new initiative at the moment is a healthy packed lunch. So that's why we have the packed lunch pictures on. They do change as the year goes on, depending on what the focus is. And of course, the uniform. When we have our meetings with an EAL lead and the class teacher, in the early days, I'll hold my hands up, we got it wrong. Initially, I would hold the meetings with the parent and I would ask them questions. But what I soon found was that actually that's a really daunting thing for a parent to do. They're new to the country, they speak a different language, it's a new school, and they're sitting in a very formal situation with a head teacher in an office. So after doing 1, 2 or 3 of these meetings, I decided actually, Charlotte, that's not right, and we changed the system slightly. So there's an EAL team at St Michael's, and it consists of 3 very skilled adults. There's one in each key stage, so an EAL lead in early years, an EAL lead in key stage 1, and an EAL lead in key stage 2. And the parents meet with the EAL lead. they have a coffee, and they meet at a little side room just off a cloakroom area. So it's very informal, they have a drink, and the EAL lead works through questions. Now, when we first started asking questions in 2017, we were asking very general questions, but we realised that actually we weren't gaining the information that we needed. So over the past 2 years, we've really developed the questions that we ask. And these will change and adapt as time goes on, but I will share some of the questions with you now. So just on the next slide are some of the questions. So the children's details are important, and of course the family details. Now, the first question we ask is, how do you pronounce the child's name? And that's really important because a name it shows respect, it shows identity, but it also is very inclusive, isn't it? And I think that's very important. And as a staff team, we hold that in high regard. You know, we pronounce names properly. We ask the parents what the child would prefer to be called, if it's different. When did the child arrive? And did the child arrive with parents? Because what we found was often parents would move first and children would stay, or they'd move with one parent. And that can be quite disruptive and unsettling for children. So we're asking that information just so we have that broad picture, so we can support the children in the right way. In terms of family details, we did have a conversation in our school about, you know, we're not being nosy here. It's not that we want to pry on our families, but actually we want to create the best support package possible. So we ask about the parents and carers, you know, if they work, you know, what hours do they work? Because of course, family life is difficult. Often parents work antisocial hours or long hours, and actually, again, we can support with that. We ask the parents who is likely to complete homework with the child. And again, we want our parents to be as independent as possible. However, if the child is not going to be supported at home, we can offer help sheets for the parents, we can share knowledge organisers, and even we have a homework club that parents can attend with their child after school, and teachers will work with the child and the parent to complete homework or to look at books and whatever it is that child is focusing on. So you can read the rest of the questions on the screen at the moment. We do ask parents about kind of their local area, what support they have and relatives and friends, and what language they speak as well. We ask who lives in the family home, just to get a bigger picture of the family tree, if there's anyone to support with homework, and how long the family plans to stay in the UK, or if they're planning on moving. We also ask on the next slide, questions about the family language background. So what is the main language used at home? And again, is there more than one language? We ask what language the children watch television in. The reason we watch this is because we know that we want to know really how much English children are exposed to and kind of where they're getting their English language from. We ask them what written language would be most useful to the family. And again, that is so we can really make sure our letters and emails are bespoke to the family if they're needed. We ask if anyone can write or read in English, and again, if they can't, then we can put support in place. Parents and children are invited to workshops, cafes. We have ESOL classes, English classes for parents. We have stay and play sessions. So by asking all of these questions, we can really create that bespoke package for the family. And further down, we ask about the educational background, so which countries the children lived in, did they start school, have they had a previous language taught to them? If so, what was it? And has the child ever studied English, how many years? And that really gives us a basis in terms of teaching and learning and where we're going to take the learning to next. We always ask about the child, what are their hobbies, what do they love doing, what are the favourite subjects? And that's so we can really make links with them straight away. And when they arrive in our setting, we know we'll have something that will appeal to the child. So if they're in early years, it may be something the child initiated with. If they're in Key Stage 1 or Key Stage 2, we know what the child's interests are, so we can really appeal to those. We also ask about religion and community links, and there's an example of some of the questions there. So we ask if any of the children attend religious schools after school or weekend. And again, that's really just so we can get an idea of the child's life and put support in place as much as possible. Once the child arrives in school, I'm often saying to the staff at St Michael's, it takes time, and we know the stages of language development for a child. We always introduce the child to the classroom and to that quiet space, and they've had pictures of both of those spaces before starting or setting, so they should be used to a little bit of what it looks like. I've mentioned the buddy system again, and that's really useful to pair children up so they have the confidence and the form of friendship and regular contact with parents. The questions that I've just gone through, for some parents, they may be able to answer those questions. Some parents bring a friend or a colleague with them who will translate. In some instances, we have asked a translator to come into school to help the parents. And then honestly, in other incidences we've just sort of persevered. We have regular contact with the parents, the class teacher, but also the EAL lead. So the EAL lead may ask 1 or 2 questions one week and then invite the parent back in and ask a few more and invite the parent back in. And we think that regular contact is important because we know that over time, the parents build up that level of trust with us. So they may not divulge all of the information straight away, but in time, once we have those relationships, they do. In terms of support for families, I've mentioned some of the things we offer, but we have a small talk session. So this is linked to the National Literacy Trust. Some of you may have heard of it, and it follows the principles of play, chat, read. So we ask our parents to come to small talk sessions with their children where they play games, they do jigsaws, they do lots of sorting activities, they cook, they bake, and it's all to do with that language development together, staff, parents and pupils. We then encourage, once parents are in school, we encourage them to do the ESOL classes. So those are free classes run in school where they can develop their reading, writing and listening skills in English. We also encourage our parents to be involved in the Parent-Teacher Family Association. And again, that's all about community networks, bringing everyone together, because we know as a school, our parents and our community are a massive asset to us. And then eventually we ask our parents if they'd like to volunteer. So we have lots of volunteers in school who listen to readers, who cook, who play games, who set up outdoor learning activities. And also on our staff team, one of our support assistants is an amazing support assistant. She has followed that progress. So her child joined us in year 1 and she started our ESOL classes, and then she came on the PTA, she started volunteering. We put her through a teaching assistant course, and last year she was appointed successfully in our school. So a real success story. And this was some of the comments just from last year. So this was from the end of last year, the summer term, talking to children and pupils again. And that's some of the comments that were said. So really for us as a school, it's been quite a journey over the past 4 years. It's been a journey that was much needed. But you can see from some of the comments there, really pupils and parents, it's a very positive picture. And thank you, Graham, again, just for the EAL quality mark. And it's great working with you. And like I say, I'm really excited for the future because I think it's great to make links with people all over the country.
Thank you, Charlotte. Just to say, Charlotte very kindly allowed the EAL Academy to put the question bank they use when they first start talking to parents on the free downloads section of our website. And it really, I mean, for me, it was a wow moment when I saw that. It was, why didn't I write this myself years ago? Because it's so well done. I would just recommend everybody has a look at that and find it really useful. So thank you again, Charlotte.